The Supreme Court of Nigeria has been accused of being afraid to adjudicate on the Rivers State of emergency, a suit that has been before them for a while now. The delay in adjudication on this case has been interpreted as the Supreme Court of Nigeria being scared, being afraid of adjudicating on the matter because of the political consequences if the matter goes against the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This allegation was made by the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, who said that they could not understand why the Supreme Court is nonchalant about resolving the Rivers State crisis through the Supreme Court. And this is an issue that is the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria believe that it is better for the Supreme Court to resolve it rather than Supreme Court delaying for political solution to the problem. Because going through the statement by the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, it is obvious that they are alleging that the Supreme Court is stonewalling to give the political actors opportunity to resolve the matter, when what was needed was a fundamental statement, a fundamental position by the Supreme Court, so that if what Tinubu did was wrong, no other president will ever try it again in the future. And what is HURIWA talking about? Why is HURIWA raising an alarm about this matter? HURIWA, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, accused the Supreme Court of deliberately delaying judgment on the constitutional challenge against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State and the suspension of the governor of Rivers State Simi Fubara, his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, and the State House of Assembly. So the HURIWA, or Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, said that the court's failure to constitute a panel or fix a hearing date since the suit was filed on April 8, 2025 was uncalled for, describing the delay as a disservice to democracy and possibly driven by fear or political pressure. And the group warned that the justices' inaction could signal a deeper plot to undermine constitutional governance, force political realignment, and destabilize constitutional democracy. They call on the Supreme Court to act decisively and fulfill its constitutional duty without fear or bias. That's basically what they're talking about. Now, what they're talking about is that since April 8th, the 11 PDP governors had instituted a case at the Supreme Court challenging the legality of the removal of elected governor of Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu while declaring state of emergency in Rivers State, dismantling the democratic institution. Tinubu did not only remove the governor, he removed the deputy governor, and he removed the State House of Assembly, and allowed a sole administrator to be running the state. This is an unprecedented democratic move, That's what HURIWA is talking about. Now, since this matter had been with the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court had been nonchalant. The Chief Justice of Nigeria has not constituted a panel to look into it. They have not fixed a date. And HURIWA in their statement was saying, look, because of the Supreme Court's fear of ruling against the president, they have failed to constitute this panel. They have failed to fix a date for the hearing. And this uncertainty has made many governors, especially the opposition governors, to be defecting to APC. Because everybody is scared that their state may be next to be declared a state of emergency. And HURIWA say this is not right. The Supreme Court has a responsibility to rule on this matter one way or the other. And of course, why are they afraid to rule on a matter? Because this is a constitutional matter. And the responsibility of the judiciary is to adjudicate when there's a problem, to show the direction, to interpret what the Constitution says about a particular issue. But the present Supreme Court, HURIWA said, is running away from its responsibility, that it is delaying it to see whether the political actors will find a political solution. But HURIWA is saying this is not a matter that should be left for political solution. The Supreme Court must and should interpret the Constitution. Can a president of Nigeria remove a duly elected governor of a state, remove a duly elected deputy governor of a state, remove a duly elected legislator of a state, and appoint a sole administrator to be running the affairs of that state? It is not a difficult question for the Supreme Court to answer. Why are they running away? That's what HURIWA is saying. Why are they scared? Has Nigeria reached a stage where the Supreme Court will shy away from its responsibility because it is believed that the ruling may go against the president? So they don't want the president to lose face? Is the Supreme Court for the president or for Nigeria? That's what the HURIWA is saying. If you are not scared, if you are not scared of the outcome, what is delaying you, the Supreme Court, from constituting a panel to hear this matter and fixing a date? As far as Nigeria is concerned today, there is no issue as important as determining whether President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the right to dismantle democratic institutions in a state. And to make it worse, this state that is dismantled is an opposition state. So what is happening is at the heart of our democracy, at the heart of our constitutional democracy, and at the heart of opposition's right to operate in Nigeria's democracy. It is this kind of thing that made Peter Obi the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election to say that democracy is dying in Nigeria. A situation where the Supreme Court of Nigeria will leave a very important matter like the dismantling of democratic institutions in a state of the federation, and is going about doing other things. There is no case, there is no matter more important than to resolve this matter through the Supreme Court. Now, what has the Supreme Court done? The Supreme Court delay has, as HURIWA pointed out, has made opposition PDP governors to be defecting to APC. even the main character in the whole thing, Fubara, is now being rumored to be planning to defect to APC. Is that the kind of country we are going to be running? If the Supreme Court has given order that what Tinubu did was an illegality, because even according to the highest body, professional body of lawyers in Nigeria, the Nigerian Bar Association, they said that what Tinubu did was an illegality, an aberration, removing a duly elected governor of a state, removing a duly elected legislator of a state, and appointing what they consider an impostor, a sole administrator, to be running a state in a democracy. So the Supreme Court is afraid of adjudicating, of making a position, because if Supreme Court had made a statement, issued judgment, Fubara will not be running around begging yes or weekend as we had, or running around pursuing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to London and elsewhere. It's an embarrassment to democracy. That's what HURIWA is saying. That we have a Supreme Court and they don't want to adjudicate on a matter like this. So the Supreme Court should do the needful and adjudicate on the matter instead of waiting for political solution. They should adjudicate on the matter. Make it if they are saying, and because even HURIWA pointed out that HURIWA is Human Writers Association of Nigeria, they also pointed out that the whole world is watching Nigeria. The international community is watching the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So they cannot shy away from their responsibility. They have to act. And point one way or the other. If they are going to rule it in favor of Tinubu, so be it. But let them make a ruling instead of sitting on the fence. And it's because of that sitting on the fence, that delay tactics, that made HURIWA to suggest that they are scared of adjudicating on a very important matter like the Rivers State of emergency. I don't know what to think about this. What do you think about the HURIWA statement alleging that the Supreme Court of Nigeria is afraid to adjudicate on the Rivers State the Rivers State state of emergency declaration by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which has been challenged by the 11 PDP governors. Now, one of them had already defected. So you can imagine. So I can bet you the Delta will go and remove himself from that suit. The other one, Akwa Ibom, HURIWA mentioned it too, has signal that it is now with APC and all that. And all these are enabled because Supreme Court of Nigeria is had delayed for too long in fixing a date for the judgment about the legality of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declaring state of emergency in Rivers State and removing a duly elected governor. What is your position? What do you think? Do you think that HURIWA is right? Or do you think that the Supreme Court is doing the right thing by trying to delay to allow a political solution? But it is a political solution that is not going to end up well for democracy. It is only going to end up well for the godfathers in Abuja. What do you think? Let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.